I haven't done a video in a while, even though I've been enjoying many anime this season, because there aren't as many strong historical themes in this season's anime that really interest me. I find that I quite like doing videos that involve historical research, and apart from that, I don't have that much to say about this season's shows otherwise. However, one show that I realized would be quite good to cover is Tsukomogami Kashimasu, or We Rent Tsukomogami. This anime is set in the Edo period in the city of Edo, which is now modern Tokyo. Specifically, a simple estimation places the show at taking place at around 1840. In this anime, a pair of siblings run a shop where they rent out valuable trinkets or art pieces to a mostly affluent clientele. Tsukomogami refer to objects which in Japanese folklore have taken on small spirits, and in the show, the brother and the sister are able to overhear the conversations of these spirits that they lend out, and as a result solve mysteries and resolve conflicts. There's a lot of information about the art objects themselves, for example, netsuke, kiseru, and decorative scrolls covered in the anime, and there's a lot more to learn about them beyond what's stated, but I won't be covering that in this video. Instead, first I'll show some maps displayed in the show and compare them to maps of modern Tokyo, and then I'll show some real-life equivalents of scenes from the show, mostly by comparing them to Ukiyo-e prints that were popular in the Edo period. The show is set in the Fukagawa ward of Edo. The modern Fukagawa ward seems to be quite small, but it does have something very relevant to the show, the Fukagawa Edo Museum, which contains a reconstruction of a few buildings as they would have appeared in the Edo period. I'm sure the staff of the show had visited this place as part of the research, and it appears some of the voice actors have gone as well as part of some promotion. One thing I wanted to do was to see where Fukagawa is in modern and historical Tokyo. In the beginning of the first episode, they showed two maps. The first is of central Edo. These maps, naturally, are derived from real maps which were made, for example this one from 1849, which has many of the same major features as the first, most notably the Imperial Palace compound in the center. Now, initially, I had a bit of trouble when comparing a modern map of Tokyo, but then I remembered that there's no reason for historical Japanese maps to be orientated northward. Fortunately, this map has the four cardinal directions written on the edges, which tell us that this map, and the ones that are shown in the show, are actually orientated with west on top. Rotating the map, so the more familiar north is on top, it may appear more similar to modern Tokyo, and indeed we can overlay them and start to see the major features which are shared. Besides the Imperial Palace grounds, I would point out the Sumida River to the east, which runs from north to south, and the Kondo River, which circumscribes the city center. With a better directional intuition, it becomes fairly easy to then overlay the map of Fukagawa. Here you can see that it is an eastern section of the Edo map. You can see it overlaid on a map of modern Tokyo here, with modern Fukagawa highlighted in red. Without being able to say for certain where the boundaries of Fukagawa are, it's safe to say that Fukagawa used to refer to a much larger area than it does today. I believe from my research that in the Edo period, Fukagawa would have referred to most of the land shown in the insert map to the east of the river, in contrast to the couple of blocks in modern Fukagawa. Next, I'll be showing some of the artwork that likely was used as a reference for scenes in the anime. This artwork is in the form of Ukiyo-e prints, which are woodblock prints that were very popular in the Edo period. On the screen, I've put up Hakusai's The Great Wave off Kanagawa, probably the most famous piece of Japanese artwork. These are made by carving a block of wood to match a paper drawing placed onto it, and then painting parts of the block the correct color for that area of the print before applying it to paper. In the description, I've included a link to a video showing this in action. While I have this work up, I'll share some interesting information I learned about from a wonderful television program called Dive into Ukiyo-e. First, the more obvious one is that if you look a bit to the right of the wave, there's a single peak. This is actually Mount Fuji, not a part of the ocean, which I had failed to realize until it was pointed out to me. A common theme of many Ukiyo-e prints is a depiction of Mount Fuji in the background. Second, although the Edo period was one during which the military government maintained a policy of isolationism, this print, as you can see it before you, was only made possible with an imported synthetic pigment. In fact, the first ever synthetic pigment, Prussian blue, which had to be smuggled into the country. With traditional plant-based dyes, such a vivid hue of blue was not possible. With respect to We Rent Tsukomogami, however, we are more interested in prints which showed scenes of life in Edo, of which there are many. Consider, for example, how the buildings shown in the anime compare to street scenes in Ukiyo-e from the era. Certainly these prints would have been a great resource for artists working on the show. Another example of the influence can be seen in the design of this bridge, compared to another Hokusai piece that depicts Mannen Bridge, which actually was in Fukugawa. There's a modern bridge in the area called Mannen Bridge as well, or 10,000 Year Bridge, but it is designed with practicality in mind and does not share this style. Another example of a more dynamic scene can be seen in the ending. This shot of fireworks over a river with many boats has been depicted a number of times in Ukiyo-e prints. For example, this one. I appreciate that this historical show has these aspects which can be considered a modern homage to a famous older art form. Finally, not Ukiyo-e, but something else I noticed was a shrine that is shown in the ending. I wanted to see if it corresponds to a real shrine in Fukugawa, and fortunately there's a legible label on the torii. It turns out the text reads Kanda Myojin, which is a popular shrine located a bit northwest of Fukugawa actually. It's popular among anime fans in particular as it's close to Akibahara, and it's also well known as a shrine shown in the anime Love Live. That's all the information I have to show. The Edo period isn't something I know a lot about, and given the contents of the show, which are more cultural, I didn't think it was as important to deliver a detailed explanation of the historical context. Still, it was fun for me to research, and I hope you learned something or enjoyed seeing corresponding scenes to the anime from Japanese artwork, and I encourage you to read further about the Edo period if it caught your interest. Thank you.